I'm here at Divertimenti with Rosie Birkett, who's the author of A Lot on Her Plate. Thank you for coming, Rosie.
Thank you for having me.
It's a fabulous book.
Thank you.
You know, the thing that kind of came across to me is the influence that your mom seems to have had, you know, on your cooking and seeing her cook and entertaining.
Yeah, definitely. My mum and my dad. I was really lucky to grow up in a family where there was a real emphasis on cooking and eating, and there still very much is an emphasis on eating. I mean, when we get together, we literally are talking about what's for dinner while we're eating our lunch. It's probably
This is my kind of family.
It's probably quite obscene to people outside of the family, but it really is something that's always kind of brought us together, and something that's marked everything from joy to grief. And you know, my dad passed away 10 years ago, and we've always eaten through that, and we've remembered him. He was a voracious eater. He absolutely loved to eat, and that's kind of where it all comes from for me, as well as the fact that my mum's an incredible home cook. So we eat today, and we eat things that my dad enjoyed, and we think of him a lot, and we talk about him when we're eating and cooking. So I think food is amazing like that. It can transport you, and it can be a real kind of comfort, and it can really sort of be a mood enhancer.
Because you talk about after your father died that you were in this job and there was a slog and you'd come home and the thing that you really started to do was to cook.
Yeah, absolutely. I just kind of found it to be very comforting, because the thing about cooking is it's physical, and your head kind of escapes while you're focusing on something and you're doing something creative, but it's kind of a release for your brain. I find when I'm being creative in the kitchen and I'm cooking, it does sort of take me into a zone that's separate to anxiety or discomfort or trauma, and it's really, really deeply comforting. And I think that's something that a lot of people find about cooking, and it's one of the most wonderful things about it.
Absolutely.
Obviously not if you're in a restaurant trying to bang out 50 covers at a busy service, but definitely cooking at home to me is a serene thing.
There's something therapeutic about it, isn't there?
Not so much when you're writing a cookbook and doing it for work, but definitely when you're doing it to kind of escape.
Well, you do food journalism, you do food styling.
Yeah.
Your blog, which this is based from, is wildly popular. So you're juggling a lot of different food things.
I literally have a lot on my plate. I've stayed on brand with the name. Yeah, I am, definitely. My blogs have been a little bit neglected because I sort of make my living writing about food for mostly the print media and websites. So sometimes the blog lags behind, but I do love blogging, and I need to get on it.
No pressure.
No pressure. But I also love what I've really discovered, and actually what's kind of taken over slightly from blogging, is Instagram, because it's such a lovely way of sharing enthusiasm about food, and pictures are such a nice expression of food, I think, and so that's a new thing that I'm doing quite a lot of.
That's fantastic. And if someone's coming to the cookbook and they're looking at kind of a dish that's quite special to you, I'm sure all of them are, anything in particular that you would kind of steer them to as kind of a favorite dish?
To me personally?
Yeah.
I'd say that, some of my mum's recipes in there have got to be tried. So the cherry brulee, which is a very, very simple dessert that you can make ahead, and it's a cheats brulee, it's not proper, it's basically whipped cream folded with really, really thick, lovely Greek yogurt, which sharpens it, and then you've got a base of soft, juicy cherries, and you can use cherries which are bang in season right now and really fantastic, that have been sitting in a little bit of cherry liqueur or something like that, or you can use tin cherries just as well, and then you pile on the cream and the double cream, and then you top it with brown sugar, and you just put it under the grill or use a blowtorch to make a lovely crisp layer of sugar. And there's just something amazing about stabbing your spoon into that shell of caramelized dark sugar, and going through into the soft clouds of cream and yogurt, and through into the juicy sweet fruit.
I'm sold.
Really
That
nice.
sounds perfect. Well, Rosie, thank you so much, and fantastic
Thank you.
book. We
Thanks
really
so
appreciate it.
much.